Yeah, I thought just I had to be consistent today because I'm playing a lefty and it's a little gusty out there, so it's just important to hang in there and not really go for the lines as much. Try to be a little more consistent, and my first serve percentage was quite low in the first set, but in the second set that got better, and I got a few 3 points off of that, and yeah, overall it was solid. I hit the important points well.
So second set, you're well in control. You think maybe I'll try a couple things. Certainly the next round and the round after that.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is just to do the things that you feel are going to help you win. Not just this match, but the matches coming up. What's going to make you better, even if you make a few more mistakes. For me, it's being aggressive and not being tentative and really going for it and having something on the ball instead of letting my opponent kind of dictate.
Maria, what goes through your mind when you hear an opponent, even though you're still young, talk about having looked up to you since she was young, as your next opponent spoke about earlier today?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, because I still somewhat consider myself pretty young as well, and I'd like to think so at least, and to see someone coming up that's 18 and that's a lot younger than I am, and in the third round of the Open is great. I think it shows a lot about the younger generation that's coming up, and to see someone, especially that's an American and doing well at the Open, is really great.
She spoke about your mental toughness as something that she has used as an example, and that's her strength too. When you think about the example you've set, what's your feeling about that?
It's strange. It's really strange because I've always had a difficult time accepting, when little kids, just whether I'm doing a clinic or talking to them, or when they tell me they want to be just like me, because not only is it a bit overwhelming and a bit of a shock, it's kind of it's strange because I don't think, I'm certainly far from perfect. I have many things that I'm not good at, and I always say to them, you should want to be better than me or anyone else. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons growing up I idolized a certain part of someone's game, but I never thought that someone was so good that I wanted to be like them. And I think that's a good point is she probably said that that's one of my strengths, and obviously that's something that's gotten me through so many matches in my career, because in tennis, being strong and steady mentally, sometimes more than physically, is more important on certain days. And so, yeah.
Are you going to research or study tapes of opponents you may not be familiar with, or you just go out and say, I'm going to play my game and that's it?
It's not really my job. I think that's why I have a coach on board to study that and to scout your opponent and have a little bit of a game plan.
What if anything do you know about Capra?
Not too much. I know that she's American and she's 18, I believe. I know she's in the third round of the Open, so that says a lot.
Maria, back to what you were saying about the little kid saying I want to be like you. Are you not the type of person who takes compliments and flattery well?
No, I get really shy about it.
So you just kind of shut it down and say, now I know all my imperfections, so I know why you're talking about me?
No, I don't openly talk about my imperfections in front of them. But I just smile and say thank you, and then I just think about it. I'm like, no, you want to be better than me.
Did you ever ask anyone for an autograph?
Yes, a chef. A chef, and whose name is Jose Andres, is a Spanish chef, and I got it in Los Angeles, but yeah, I know, but I've never been to Washington, so I've never been to his restaurant, but there, and who else? Peter Lindbergh, who's a photographer.
You're normally a crowd favorite, so I think you won't take it personally if the crowd is rooting for your underdog opponent in your next match.
I think it's absolutely understandable, and we're playing in New York, and you have someone that's coming up and having a great Open. There's no reason why there shouldn't be any support behind her. Yeah.
for an autograph. He didn't understand why he would do that, especially if you're in the field and you've got to think that you're going to beat the person or compete against them in some way.
Yeah, yeah. One of the coolest things about our jobs is we obviously get to meet many different people in different industries, and you get to talk to them. And I don't know. I've never really met anyone that I was just kind of starstruck about. Once, many years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, we pulled up to an airport in Miami, and Michael Jordan was in front of us in the car, and for some reason I didn't even see him, and for some reason I was in the car with my coach Michael, and I said, I think that's Michael Jordan, and I just saw Nike bags, and that just came up to my mind, and he just walked out of the car, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I don't know where that came from, and that was him. So that was the only time where I was like, I was right.
I take it you didn't ask for their autographs, but a couple of courts over from you when you were hitting before the match was Martina Navratilova and Jimmy Connors. I don't know if you saw that, if you talked to them or had any reaction to that. It was kind of a unique thing.
Yeah, I get to see both of them quite a bit during the Grand Slams. I do some commentating, and I just asked Martina to hit a few lefty serves at me because I was playing against a lefty. And yeah.
So
Maria, what do you... Go ahead, Matt.
Good. Yeah.
service winner and ace.
She did ace me. I was expecting the one out wide and ace me down the tee.
Did you come in behind ball backhand?
No, I just stood there and just like yes.
Maria, when you were out at Stanford, Billie Jean King was there and they were celebrating the 40th anniversary of that tournament. When you hear about sort of the grassroots beginning of the women's tour, are you amazed sometime at how far you guys have come and the kind of dollars that go around now?
Yeah, it's. You look back and I think so many players, take what we have for granted. Because I think without, people like Billie Jean King, we wouldn't have the opportunity not only to, to play in such big and great events. We wouldn't have equal prize money. We wouldn't have someone that was so strong behind so many issues. We wouldn't be getting paid so much, and so many of those things you realize were done at a point where I think then, none of those players really knew what was going to happen 20 years from then, and how much effect and how much of what they did really mattered into the upcoming generation. And I think that's something that all of us really have to look at today and say what we do now is ultimately when we're done and we're retired and whatever we're doing with kids, families, commentating, whatever it is, we're going to have some sort of piece, a part of what's going to happen in years to come, and we really have to be, thoughtful and when I talk to Billie Jean King, she says, there's always going to be somebody in your spot, no matter how you do, how much you achieve, there's always going to be the next person that comes along that's going to be number one. There are going to be tons of them coming ahead, but at this point, you guys are setting the bar for the younger generations to come, and we are, and we try to be good examples by doing that.
2 last questions.
Maria, what do you remember about last year's Melanie match here? It was probably a low moment along this comeback. What were some of the memories of that night?
Why do we need to remember that one?
Last question.
Phil Knight, because you're a big Nike endorser and Jordan's a big Nike. We always figured that all you guys, that Phil Knight would arrange a party for all you guys to know each other. That doesn't happen. I take it.
No, I never got my invitation in the mail. Maybe they don't have my address or something. No, I think our schedules are too busy for everyone to get together. Yeah.